All their news has been fact-checked by the Magic 8 Ball. Here's Comic Book Man and JR.
Some people are bastards.
Media News, episode 111, Groovy Goofin'.
Hey folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
A Baboon's Butt.
You betcha. What could be more fun?
Media News.
Media
A
News.
baboon's butt.
And where does Media News come from, Comic Book
Media
Man?
News comes from
Where
alternate
always
reality,
comes
That
from.
doesn't sound right.
which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood.
Right.
Alternate reality, where all new comics are 15% off every day for everyone, including the defunct Doctor Who comic,
Yes.
which IDW pulled the plug on.
No,
but
they didn't.
yeah, they pulled the plug on the ongoing series, but they're going to bring Doctor Who back, which, if you check our indie news, as we've talked about before.
Yeah.
I know, the Matt Smith thing.
Yeah, they're starting with number one. Why?
Yeah.
Because it sells.
Because
more
it's a
when you
number
put
one. Why the hell else? Why the hell else? But
Oh.
the last series was canceled. I think 15 was the last one that came out last week, our time. But anyway, Doctor Who is coming back to TV real soon.
Yes, it is. And Bo, I think Bo and you two covered this in the magical number 100. The season's getting broken up into two, blah, 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 blah. But the big news is that the
We
season
did.
will kick off with
you did.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
The season's being broken into two chunks, basically, so
Okay.
there's not a huge gap anymore.
As I understand, it's a big chunk and a little chunk.
Yeah,
Or one chunk. Well, one chunk. It's a
7 and
60-40.
7 and 6.
60-40, 70-30.
Exactly. Exactly. But anyway, here's the big news about the season. The season starts with a two-parter, which will take place in America. Now, a lot of you are going, oh, they're going to shoot stuff in England and make it look like
I
America.
know where they're shooting. I heard this.
You
Go
did
ahead.
hear this story, yes. They are actually bringing the cast and crew to Utah.
Of all
in
places.
November, yes, to shoot the two-parter here. The story takes place...
Doctor, what is that? It's a Mormon.
The story,
What's a Mormon? Oh, sit down.
well, it's not like the series hasn't had stories set in the U.S. before, but they've done just that and shot in England and
Right.
pretended it was the U.S.
Like the New York story.
Exactly.
The New York Dalek story.
Well, they sent, you know
with
what?
all the British actors playing, working,
Exactly.
straining against their dialect.
As a side note, they did send a second unit to come to New York to do some cityscape
Background
stuff.
stuff?
Exactly.
Oh, really?
Exactly.
They did sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but no
'Cause
actors
I
or
thought a lot of that stuff was canned
No.
that they used.
No.
Okay.
But anyway, they're coming to Utah this November for about a month's time, I do
A
believe.
month?
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
going to
Do
shoot,
some
they're
shooting.
not going to shoot more than one episode for a month?
2 episodes.
Yeah, 2 episodes.
Yeah, the story takes place in the 1960s, which goes from the Midwest to the Oval Office.
Oh, not Area 51.
I don't think it's an Area 51 thing. I don't think it's going to be involving that, but it takes them from the Midwest to the Oval Office. This
Is President Kennedy going to
well, it takes place in the 60s, so
Oh.
yeah. would they dare cross that line? A pre-assassination?
be?
Kennedy?
For those of you who are looking for a little bit of Doctor Who trivia, which I know none of you are, but the bit of trivia with Robert F. Kennedy, or John Kennedy,
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy, in Doctor Who is the TV series originally debuted the evening of the
Yes.
assassination
Yes.
of John F.
They
Kennedy,
actually
November 23rd, 1963.
63.
That's the same day that the first episode of Doctor Who premiered on the BBC.
Well, they actually postponed it a day because of the
Oh, did
assassination.
they?
It was scheduled that day,
Okay.
got postponed because of the nonstop coverage about Kennedy's assassination, and premiered the next day. Which, by the way, which means we're coming up on the 50th anniversary of the series in a mere few years.
Okay.
So there we go. But anyway, that will be followed up. The third episode will be written by Neil Gaiman. There's our comic book.
the big
tie-in
Neil
right
Gaiman
there.
episode.
Yes, sir.
Which is supposed to be quite a hoot from what I hear.
That's
He's
what
putting
they
a lot of
say.
work into
He's
it.
been doing a lot of tweeting on his and blogging on his website about it. So there you go.
Okay. Once upon a time, you watched Doctor Who on Sci-Fi, or Swi-Fi,
Yeah,
as we like to
Sci-Fi.
say here. Swiffy.
Sci-Fi.
Swiffy. One of the other series you used to watch on Swiffy right after Doctor Who ended was Battlestar
Mosquito.
Galactica. No, Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica. The only thing that was
Battlestar
worth
Galactica.
watching for
Yes.
the longest time.
And
Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi has greenlit, or Swi-Fi has greenlit what?
Yeah, well, there's yet another spin-off to Battlestar Galactica coming. They're about to announce whether or not Caprica gets picked up for a second season. My guess is they will pick it up for a second season, which is a terrific series, by the way. For those of you not watching it, should be watching it. They have greenlit yet another backdoor pilot like they did with Caprica. This is going to be called Battlestar Galactica...
Toasters.
Yeah. And I've lost the name completely. Oh, Blood and Chrome. What am I doing?
Blood and Chrome.
Blood and Chrome. This will be a 20-something Bill Adama.
I thought he was a 20-something in Caprica.
No, he's a kid.
So this predates Caprica.
No, he's a kid in Caprica. He will be a 20-something.
Oh, okay, so he's older. He's
Yes.
old. Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay,
He will be joining the Cylon War within about the 10th year of the Cylon War, and how he makes his way through that. The interesting thing about this is it's going to have to utilize the Vipers and all that stuff that we saw in the previous series,
Yeah.
the one that Ron Moore did a few years back,
Right.
all those sets and all those things have been struck. The way they're going to get around that is all of those sets were digitally captured before they were struck. They will be digitally created sets.
So he's going to walk around big green blocks on his set, and it's going to look like he's walking around the control console and
The
stuff.
pilot's written by Michael Taylor, who worked
Okay.
on Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Battlestar Galactica, as well as Caprica. He is also one of the co-people with Ron Moore, who worked on the original Battlestar, not the original
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah,
but the
not
sci-fi,
not the crappy one.
not that crappy one. So look for that coming soon. Blood and Chrome.
Blood and Chrome. Okay. Last story we've got is the Bourne Legacy. It is not
Yes.
dead.
The
It is
Bourne
coming
franchise
back.
is coming back. The screenwriter of Michael Clayton and Duplicity, Tony Gilroy, who wrote the screenplays or did work on the screenplays for all three of the other Bourne films, is now in charge of directing the next Bourne film in the franchise. Well, for those of you saying Matt Damon,
Yes.
nope, Matt Damon will not be in the next film, and since Paul Greengrass is not going to be
I
directing
know
it- Who?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Yes.
Liam Neeson
exactly.
will be in it.
Now, here's the interesting thing. The film is called The Bourne Legacy. Will
Yes.
not have anything to do with that novel, just like the other Bourne films had nothing to do with the novels.
Liam
Or
Neeson.
very
There you
little.
go.
But the character of this will not be a prequel.
No.
This is not a reboot.
No.
It will have the character of Jason Bourne in it, but not played by Matt Damon.
He'll be a 6-year-old kid.
Ah, well, here's the rub. Tony Gilroy has
I
said
want to grow up and work here.
the name Jason Bourne may not refer to one specific individual. Take it from there, kids.
So it's like Batman.
James Bond.
Could
Or-
be.
Well,
Could be.
I've always thought that was interesting to go off on a writing on tangent. There are some out there. I've read fiction, or I've read fan sites that say that James Bond is actually just a name,
A code name.
a code name. And if you
Sure.
watch all these Bond films, Sean Connery and Roger Moore and
Right.
Timothy Dalton, that what you don't see is like Roger Moore dies. And they get a new James Bond
Right.
within the series,
Exactly.
not in Hollywood or anything, but within the series. And they go, hey,
You're
JR,
James-
you're
yeah.
James Bond now.
Right.
007.
Shaken, not stirred.
You're James. Oh, he died. Hey, Bo, you're James Bond now.
And I think this is where Tony Gilroy is going with Jason Bourne. I think
Yeah.
it is. I think you're going to see a larger tapestry as far as what the storyline is, as far as what Jason Bourne actually is. So
Yeah.
that's what's coming soon.
Okay, and that's it. We're done. We're finished. We're out of here. We've got
Quickie.
no more media news, but you can go to the store's website and check out all of his reviews and all of Bo's news. And James Bond is here to
Yes.
tell you where it's at. She just got promoted, so here's James Bond to tell you where it is.
Shaken, not stirred.
100% high class operation all the way. www.myalternatelereality.com.
So stop off at the store's website and check out all of his reviews and all of Bo's news. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
And it's JR and
Say-
James Bond.
And James Bond saying, bye!
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.